will tell you this, but the shorter the lap time, the more laps you do, the longer the main event feels. Oftentimes physically, it's a little bit harder. So great call there, JB, something to keep an eye on.
Going to be awesome as we see here through this qualifying session. There's Levi Kitchen on that number 47, Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Remember 1 week ago, he swept both qualifying sessions. That was the first time in his career he was able to sweep both. He had the speed to get it done. Unfortunately, at the main event, first turn crash set him back, was still able to claw his way back to 6th.
And it was a great ride, but you could tell him crashing in the first turn, had a great ride back to 6th. Still, as a racer, on a day where you're feeling so confident, so comfortable, it's a tough pill to swallow. You feel like you gave one away. But as far as what I'm seeing with his riding so far this season, to me, this is the most complete Levi Kitchen has looked in his career. We know how good he was in the start of that East Division before he got hurt at Daytona last year. I think he's back on that form and maybe even a little better.
So what do you do, AC, if you're a guy like Levi Kitchen? You know you had the speed, you just had that one little hiccup, but as riders, you can go back, sometimes try and reinvent the wheel after round 1. Not so much for Levi. You think he's on form, no changes during the week?
I think so. And you know, if you had a bad weekend at Anaheim 1, it's easy to doubt your off-season training program, where you are with the motorcycle. But everything I saw with Levi's riding, he doesn't need to change. It comes down to executing on Saturday night, executing the start, putting yourself in a good position. And for Levi, I think he's probably not putting too much stock in the result of A1. He limited the damage, did what he could. I expect him to be a big-time player here tonight.
How about this guy, Chance Hymas, at number 29 on that Honda HRC Progressive machine. Second fastest so far here today, 55.1, as Hayden Deegan's out front already with a 54.3. But if you're Chance, that was his second podium of his career. Remember, he won Foxborough a week ago in the mud. That had to be a huge confidence booster for Chance.
Yeah, you would think. And this is a guy that we've seen be so elite in the outdoor portion of this SMX World Championship. And anytime you see that much talent on a motorcycle, I don't care if you're riding in a field, you know the guy is going to turn a corner at some point in Supercross. And I largely think his results so far in Supercross have a lot to do with just staying healthy. He had a great offseason, like Weege mentioned there at the top of our show, and he looks very confident. He's a guy, he's got such great technique on the motorcycle. He gives himself a great template for success. So he's getting the day started off great here. P2 as you see him start another fast lap. And JB, that section right there, those whoop sections, that's going to be fun to watch today.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really challenging as he goes up over this over-under bridge. This is going to be interesting, too. Some guys going outside right there. I'm not sure if you can get triple out of the corner. Chance elects to go inside, roll double-double. And then this right here. Chance actually rode yesterday during press. He rode this section and this next right here. Watch, he's going to go over the table. Then he's going to go triple, and this triple right there, that one's tough. It goes from a small pocket over a big, then into another really tight pocket. So that's challenging to get every single lap.
It is challenging, and look at Chance, especially through the turns. What I love about his technique is you always see his arms are really far away from him. So it puts him in a position of strength on the motorcycle that allows him to carry a bunch of speed entering these turns.
Hymas went 55.1, so he's second fastest right now, as we've seen Hayden Deegan throw down a lap as well. He goes a 54.3.
Oh, that's pretty quick.
0.8 of a second faster than everybody on track.
Ryder D with some style over the finish line there, P2. And for someone like Ryder D, what I love, not just the fact that he got a podium last week, and it's how he got the podium. Hayden Deegan was coming through. He got to 4th, and he was only a few seconds behind Ryder D. But Ryder threw down. He's the fastest guy on track with about 2 or 3 laps to go. And I love to see that fight from Ryder. Now that he has a little bit of confidence, I expect that to kind of snowball into some more results, some more aggression with him on track.
Max Anstie so far 8th overall in this session. Looks to be rolling around. Right here through the whoops, comes in decent, nice up over the bars, gets over that last whoop, table over.
Oh, yeah.
And then he wheel taps out.
Yeah, you know, when we were riding yesterday, I thought about doing that, Justin. I thought about doing that. A little risky for this old dog, but Hayden Deegan making it look easy.
And the interesting thing is Hayden Deegan actually has this replica track at his new property. Now, that doesn't mean a lot because we've all built replica tracks. It doesn't mean that everything's exactly to scale, but there is some sort of confidence coming in if you're Hayden Deegan thinking, you know, I've been riding this track all week. I'm going to be good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Just makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. And I think these guys, the off-season, the track you're riding at a training facility, it's so difficult, like you said, to replicate what it's going to be like on Saturday nights. But to have a similar layout, you kind of get an idea of what you're working with. And so far, it's working for the one. He looks good.
That lap from the 61 of Anstey bumps him up to 6th right now. Big week for Hayden, right? Big weekend. Try to get back on top. Obviously, a bad start last week. Nearly had a podium as he goes triple out of that turn. Haven't seen very many 250s do that.
Yeah, and just you saw he carried so much speed because he tripled. He hardly even broke going into that right-hand turn. His corners are always so good. Betters his lap time there, 54.1. He's on form early.
Absolutely is. How about this guy? 3rd so far for Levi Kitchen, 54.8. Let's talk about Ryder D and Chance Hymas just for a minute. Ryder D gets his first podium of his career. Hymas gets his 2nd podium of his career. Do you believe that this round is maybe even bigger than the first round to potentially get them in the mindset of championship? Because when you get your 1st and 2nd podium, there's belief. But then you get your 3rd and 4th and 5th podium, then there's championship belief.
I can only speak from experience, but when you do something one time, it's great, and you definitely take some confidence from it. But those lingering doubts are still in your mind until you back it up. If they're able to come here this evening, get back up on the box, that is going to fast forward their progression faster than anything else could. I think the key for them is to come out here and not try to do too much. Don't get too excited from that good result at Anaheim 1 and come out here and get outside of your normal process. You got to stay within yourself, and they obviously know what they're doing.
All right, let's see the 47. He is starting a fast lap right here. 54.1 is the target for Levi Kitchen to try to hit for this lap. He's 3rd right now. He needs 7/10 of a second. Let's see if he can get it.
And you saw in that 2nd set of whoops after the table single, you saw Levi skim them. We saw Hayden Deegan wheel tap all the way into the corner earlier. And what I love about the wheel tap is it really gets you settled. You're able to cut lower in that bowl corner. See Levi just go a little long on that table single, still able to comes up just a little short there. And right now on this track, JB, still a little wet, a little loose in some spots. See Levi make just a small mistake, comes up short on that triple. Looks to be a pretty decent lap.
Let's see, what is it? He goes to P1, 53.6. Wow, what a lap time from Levi Kitchen.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, as you see him just messing around in those whoops, jumping, is able to jump on top of the tabletop. So for the guys that are gonna go to jumping these whoops, that's something that we gotta keep an eye on today, is if they can hit the last whoop, jump up on the table, potentially get off of it, stay lower to the ground. But I'm not gonna lie, I did not see, I watched that lap from Levi, I did not think, I thought it was a good lap. I didn't think it was great, and that's good. That's good because it didn't look like he was going that fast, which means it's very repeatable for the 47.
Ryder DiFrancesco on screen right now, that number 34. Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team looks to be on a fast one right now. He's 3rd right now so far and looks to be confident. Love the body language on the bike.
Yeah, you see, just got off. Little off balance, a little to the right there, took a foot off, tried to get himself back on track, looked like he was headed towards the tough blocks. But Ryder D, I remember even kind of towards the end of outdoors last year, even when he wasn't in peak race form, this guy knows how to throw down a heater, JB. He's got some raw speed in the tank.
Yeah, I'd love to see Ryder D ride out there. How about this guy, the 1W, your defending Western Division 250 Supercross champ from a year ago. 2nd right now. Is he going to have time to throw another one down? He does not. Looks like the check